Hey everybody, it's Daniel here from Mobile Syrup, and I'm pretty excited about this device. This is the Motorola ATRIX HD LTE from Bell, and it's an exclusive device from Bell, just like the ATRIX 4G was. And this is quite a monumental device, not only for Bell, but for Motorola. So let's take a bit of a look through the hardware and the software and see what's so good about it. First of all, it's $49.95 on a 3-year term and $599.95 outright. So it's a pretty expensive device if you're buying it outright, but it's very competitively priced if you're looking to sign a new contract or renew on a 3-year term. What makes this device so special? Well, first of all, this is Motorola's first HD screen. So this is running a 1280 by 720 HD screen. It's not pen tile, it's not AMOLED, it's a true TFT display. It's very, very nice. Comparable to the HTC One X screen, and it's just gorgeous, really, really sharp. It's a 4.5-inch screen diagonally, so really high pixel density, and something that we just love from Motorola. The second thing as well is the addition of LTE connectivity. So this is Motorola's first LTE device as well, and this is pretty similar to the Razr in design. It's much more compact, or it's about the same size, but it's a little bit more compact than the Razr. Easier to hold in the hand despite the larger 4.5-inch screen. And it's got the same kind of hump here, but it's not quite as thin. It's about 8.6 millimeters. So definitely not the the record breaker that the Razr was, but this really isn't trying to be. But internally we have much more competitive specs here. This is one of the fastest devices on the market as well, and the reason that I'm so excited about it is that it's running pretty much stock Android Gingerbread. I mean, not exactly, but it's got a lot of stock features here. It looks really great and works very similarly to what you'd expect on the Galaxy Nexus, but it's running a 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon S4 processor. It has 1 gig of RAM in here, 8 gigs of internal storage, pretty hefty 1780 milliamp hour battery, which is unfortunately not removable, and obviously that HD screen and LTE connectivity. So let's take a look here. First of all, you can see that there are no capacitive buttons on this device. Google's influence has probably brought along the addition of virtual buttons at the bottom, which I am very pleased about. You can see that multitasking menu here has been added as well, and of course you can swipe to get rid of your open apps, which is really nice. Another cool software tweak that Motorola has added is the kind of a hybrid widget slash icon. So if you want to check your recently missed calls, for example, and you don't want to open the phone app, the dedicated phone app, you can just swipe up on the icon and it'll open up this little widget here. And the same can be done for a number of apps, including your mail app, which I find actually the best of all OEMs. So this is the Motorola app here that looks very much like Gmail in the stock Android experience. However, you can pinch to zoom. So you get a lot of very cool features here. You get that dedicated menu button at the top right. You have the ability to reply all. You have multi-account support. You have that back button at the top left that adheres to Google standards. However, this is a much more versatile application and is really fantastic. So if you are not happy with the ICS or Jelly Bean Gmail app, you'll be very happy with this as well. Going back into the app, I'll show you quickly the keyboard, which has also been adopted from Jelly Bean. So it looks very much like the ICS keyboard, but what it has is this. This is actually showing me something that I haven't seen before. Okay, there we go. So you can actually, in the email app, it shows you these rich text features that I haven't actually seen yet. So let me go into the text messaging app and let me show you there. So here you see that the ICS app, the ICS keyboard looks pretty similar. It's really not changed at all. It has voice input support as well, but this will also try to learn what words go together and try to put together a sentence, just like it has been on Jelly Bean. So ICS improved the keyboard significantly. This adopts some of that key recognition algorithms from Jelly Bean and brings it over to ICS. Now this is running Android 4.0.4, so if I go down on the notification bar, you can see that nightshade here, that lampshade feature rather. You have your typical ICS menu, but it's been a little bit altered a little bit. The icons are very much Motorola. You also have the Motorola printer settings here, which you can use with MotoPrint, which is their virtual printing app. As you see here, it comes with Android 4.0.4, and we're sure that this will be updated to Jelly Bean as soon as Motorola can. In terms of storage, we have 8 gigabytes of internal storage. Now only about 5 of that is available to the user. So what you'll want to do is open up this little clip here on the left side. There is a micro SIM card slot here, and there's also a micro SD card slot. So that's where you're going to put your cards in. Going to the right hand side of the device, you can see the power button is on the right, and the volume rocker is just below it, and it's slightly delineated to tell apart the top and bottom. You have a nice little symmetrical design here. You can see that there's a little speaker grill at the top and bottom, and that's not exactly a speaker grill, that's on the back, but this is your headset where you hear out of, or your headpiece rather, and this is where the microphones are stored as well, one of them anyway. So that's a bit of the hardware. On the top of the device, you can see that there is a mini HDMI port and a micro USB port, and just to differentiate between this and the Razr V, the build quality on this, despite the similar Kevlar backing, is much higher than the Razr V, and it's akin to the original Razr. So this is a great, well-built device, very sturdy, really very attractive as well, and I'm really happy with the build quality on this. In terms of sound quality from the headpiece and from the back speaker, really nice. Photos are excellent, Motorola's best camera yet, and the LED flash is really bright. We have this Kevlar backing, as I said, which should prevent scratches and damage from coming to the device, and it's also really nice. It feels great in the hand as well. So this is not only a really well-made device in terms of hardware, but it's really snappy. This build of Android, as I said, is about as stock as you get. So if you want to want to make folders, for example, you can just drag an app right into a folder. You have your horizontal app drawer. And now, one thing that Motorola is really pushing is their Smart Actions feature, which allows you to automate certain tasks. So if I want to, say, drive smart, for example, or if I want to, set something up for my workout, I can add that, and it says when I put in a pair of headphones, that's the trigger, it will launch a specific app. And in this case, it's the music app. Now, if I want to add something else, for example, if I wanted to remind me to bring a towel, for example, I can do that. So I can tell it to send me a message when I put in my headphones, and it'll say bring a towel. Now that may not appeal to everybody. Obviously you're going to be using your headphones for things other than working out, but that's just an idea. Now there are sample rules which are really cool. For example, a meeting, if you have a calendar event and you want to add a specific location, it can set your ringer to silent. It can set an auto reply, so I can have the phone reply to anybody who sends me a text message saying I'm in a meeting, or you can set it for specific numbers, all contacts, whatever. So it's very granular, very cool, and it's a great upgrade from the Smart Actions that we saw in Gingerbread. So that's the Smart Actions. That can add about 30% of extra battery life if you put your, if you put it to save battery, and that's also something that Motorola has built in there. So very cool feature, really nice. And obviously, because this is a Bell device, you have Bell Mobile TV, and that's incorporated into a lot of existing plans. Now you can see that I have HSPA Plus connectivity here. That is because my area does not quite have Bell LTE, but I can assure you that it is a Bell LTE device. And I'm going to put up some speed test results in the review. So you can see here.
Now that we will look forward to. As you get that together, we'll give you a nice big plug, okay, girl?
So the sound is pretty good on this device, and it comes out of this mono speaker at the back. So other things that I want to keep note of, this very cool widget here is compatible with weather, with time, and with your battery. So if you want to change some options here, you can do that as well. But it's a fantastic little widget, and something that I wish was a little bit more available from other manufacturers. I like the analog widget here, and then it goes right into the alarms. So you have all that stock Android connectivity. You have your gallery here, which is pretty much stock Android ICS as well. The camera app is fantastic. I really like this camera app. You can hide all the settings that you don't really want. You can snap photos very, very quickly. So that's a coaster. You can see just how quickly I can snap photos here. So you can also choose continuous shooting, and that's something that you can set yourself. So if I want multi-shot, you can shoot five photos in a row, and it'll keep the focus in place, and you can choose the best one there. So it's not quite best shot the way that HTC and Samsung set it up, but it's pretty similar. It's actually more akin to stock Android, like what you find on ICS on the Galaxy Nexus. The device also supports HD video, and you can see that it's 1080p HD video at 30 frames per second, high definition 720p at 60 frames a second. You can change, real-time effects, for example, which are pretty neat. And you can set the mode to be a time-lapse, for example, so it can, take video every 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, stuff like that. So it's you can also change your audio scenes, so you can set stereo audio or wind reduction. You can set it to concert mode and balanced, so it'll balance the sound from both microphones. So that's a feature that we don't really see typically in other manufacturers. And you also have your light on or off during video mode, and that's a really bright light. So that's the camera, and it comes with a full version of Asphalt 6 here for your enjoyment. And if you scroll to the right, you can see that it's not typical of Android in the sense that you don't have your kind of helicopter view here. It's all done horizontally, and your main home screen is on the left. And if you want to add a new home screen, you just swipe all the way to the right, and you can start with either a template, which is tools and utilities, mobile office, media, for example, and or you can just start with a blank page and go from there. Now, if you want to add change your wallpaper, for example, you can hold down on the home screen. Or if you want to add a widget, you can go right into the application drawer and add a widget just like that. So you're going to find as close to a typical Android, stock Android experience here on the ATRIX HD LTE, except that the hardware is much faster than what we have currently on the Galaxy Nexus, and the screen is fantastic. Sound is great. Battery life so far has been really, really good. The Snapdragon S4 processor is pretty light on the battery as well. So, I'm really happy with this. I'm still exploring it, and more will be available in the full review. But this has been Daniel from Mobile Syrup, and this is the Bell exclusive Motorola ATRIX HD LTE. Thanks so much for watching.